Lost Angler, and today what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at the Lowrance Elite Ti2 with active imaging 3-in-1. So we're going to take a look at how it works, how to operate it, how to handle it, what you can and can't do with it, and just kind of a good get to know you. We did a video not too long ago with a complete installation, so now that it's in the boat, we're going to see how to use it, how to get the most out of your electronics. So hang tight and we'll go through it. Okay guys, so we're right here on the Lowrance Elite Ti2. This is a 7-inch unit. It's got the active imaging 3-in-1. You can see I've got some customization. This is basically what your screen is going to look like. We're going to go to a simulator mode in just a minute, which is like what you would see in a retail store, like if you went to Bass Pro or West Marine, you want to look at it that way. So initially what you've got is your chart, sonar, traditional sonar, side imaging, and down scan. I'm going to show you guys how to go through it, how to do basic stuff on it, make this a little bit easier, and kind of your basics on how to read your sonars too. So let's get into it. Now, one thing I suggest everybody does when you get this unit, before you take it out on the water, just to kind of play with it and get used to it, you're going to come here to this widget at the top. This is what takes you to your options setting. All right, and we're going to come all the way down here to the bottom. We're going to go to simulator, and we're going to turn on retail mode. And what that allows you to do is it lets you play with all the systems in the unit without it messing up your settings. So if you have things that you've saved or tracks or whatever, you're not going to mess it up. You're not going to hurt anything, okay? Now you're going to see some stuff over here to the side that we just don't have because it's not an NEMA 2000 setup in the boat. So let me go to the home screen real quick. Do you wish to try? Yes. Yes, we do. So I'm a Navionics guy, and I really like Navionics. All right, so we're going to go to our home screen. It's going to be really nice. So, like for example, we don't have autopilot, okay? We don't have the engine set up. We don't have Suzuki. So again, you're just going to have these top 6. So we're not going to worry about this. This isn't stuff that we're going to see on a basic unit. One thing I like about it is set up a lot like a cell phone or a tablet. So, you know, if I want to go charts, I just press chart. I want to go back to my home screen, I just press the home screen. I want to look at sonar, I can. If I want to look at a combo screen, it's right there. So that makes it really nice. It's really also very easy to add a combo screen that we really like. So let's say I want to do chart, I want to do sonar, maybe I really like side imaging. Boom, that is how easy it is to put together a chart layout that you really like. So maybe I want to do add down imaging to it too. Maybe it's something that I don't need that. Down imaging to it, something I really like. Now I've got all of it. I've got everything there in one screen. I can mess with the panels. I can do whatever I want to. And then I hit save. And when I get to my home screen, I'm going to take it back to home screen, guys. Bam, there it is, right there in the corner, right where we built it. So you've got it really easy to customize this setup to the experience that you want. Coming into it on charts, let's take a look. All right, we're going to zoom in to the lake they've got us on. All right. Cool. Now, starting out, you can already see, one thing I really like about this setup is I really like, let me zoom in a little bit. Easier for you guys to read. Cool. All right, so what I like is you've got the grid lines that are right here, so you can see my depth and the whole 9 yards. That makes it really nice, really easy to use. So I can already, at a glance, see where I'm going to go. Basic operation of the chart, you're going to touch a spot, then I can either zoom in by using the tactile buttons to the left and to the right, or I can press the buttons here on the bottom. So this gives an option. It's kind of a touch assist setup. You can do most everything through touchscreen, not quite everything. All right, so let's say I really like this one spot here, and I want to mark it. I can press go to cursor, or I can mark it right here. There's a new waypoint. So you see all that little flag right there? I just pressed the little flag. I made a new waypoint. We can rename it whatever we want to. Put a whole new dealy bop on it, whatever we're going to do. So we'll save it as 001. This is our new waypoint. All right, now we're going to press go to cursor. And what it's going to do is it's going to go straight to it. Okay, so it's going to draw a straight line. Now, as you're navigating the boat and driving around, what it's going to allow you to do is it's going to be changing this direction here. it's going to draw a straight line to it. So as you go, it's going to change that straight line, okay? In the navigation, you can start it, restart it back, whatever you're going to do. We can cancel that navigation, so now it's gone. We can set a new waypoint. We can measure a distance to something if we want to. And what I also like too is you can go through and you can find from your vessel's log waypoints, routes, trails, vessels, whole 9 yards. So it's really easy to get to it. It's very, very nice unit, easy to use, okay? So I do like that about it. Restore the cursor, clear the cursor, more options. Overlay options. So you've got structure overlay, or you can leave it off. Let's take a look at what structure overlay is going to look like. Boom. So let's zoom in to where our vessel is. So what you're imagining is, as this guy has done this route and he's used the side imaging sonar, he has basically made a customized map for himself. So as you're going, this is going to be part of your active imaging setup. Just be mindful of the fact that this uses a lot of memory. If it's a place you're going to fish a lot, it's a good option. I don't generally ever do it, but that's just me. So keep that in mind. That is a matter of personal preference. We're going to come to our overlay. We're going to take the structure off. All right. More options. So from right here, you've got heading. You can do north up, heading up, or course up, and heading up are pretty much the same, except for if I chart a course, it's going to turn into the, it's going to make it into a course up. So whether or not the boat's going that way or not, it doesn't matter. It's going to keep to that course. The heading is where the boat is actually going. So play with that. See which one you prefer. I'm going to go back. We're going to look at it from a navionics setup, which is what I like. Boom, there we go. All right, cool. But anyway, see, you can go back and forth between your mapping options. So good to go there. All right, overlay on the structure. We're going to take that off. Now, once we go to the navionics, now we got Sonar Chart Live. You have to activate that, or SCL History. Go through that, take a look at it, play with it, see what you like to do. All right, we're going to zoom out and be in good shape. All right, next, let's go to some more of our settings right here. All right. Now, let's take a look at sonar. Really basic stuff. It's stuff we're used to using. Mode is in general. Kilohertz, 200 kilohertz. Just remember, the deeper you're fishing, the lower you want the frequency. So, sensitivity is set to auto. What that tries to do is filter out disturbances in the water. And what I mean by disturbances, I mean, like, let's say you just had a big rain event, you got a lot of ook in there. It's going to try to filter it out for you. It's going to try to make it as easy as possible to read. But you've got a lot of other stuff you can do. So we're going to come right here. We're going to go to the mode is in general. But you can also do preset stuff. So if we're in shallow water, it's going to bring that frequency way up. Fresh water, it's also going to do a higher frequency. Deep water is going to do that. Clear water, fast roll. It's basically calibrating your sonar to what the engineers at Lowrance and the pro staff at Lowrance and all those folks have figured out is the best possible setting for these conditions. All right, cool. All right, advanced. You can change your noise rejection. That's what we talked about. That noise rejection is when we're talking about cutting out stuff like silt in the water. And then you got your ping speed is normal. You can go back through here and play with this if you want to. What it really changes, not a big deal. All right. Now, let's see, more options. So in the more options setup, what we can do is we're going to change your color palettes. So this is a really cool thing to do because not everybody's eyes see the same. So maybe it's clearer for you to see it in this picture, or maybe it's clearer for you to see it in a black and white, or whatever it may be. So I always suggest to people kind of play with it, see what works for you, what is the best possible image for you to see at, you know, that makes it easiest for you to enjoy your unit. Not everybody's eyes are the same, not everybody focuses the same. So this is a nice, easy way to do it. All right. So right up here on the right, you've got your depth, you got your water temp. All right. We'll take the fish ID off. So that's your basics of that sonar. Now, moving on back. Take a look at side imaging. Side imaging is a really, really cool thing, but let's actually look at how to actually read side imaging, which I think is important. So what you're seeing right now is this white line here in the center, right there. Essentially, imagine that white line is the keel of the boat, or where the transducer is really. This black spot here in the middle is set up so that you're seeing, that would be the surface space that would be seen by your traditional sonar and your down imaging. What side imaging is really and truly seeing is from right here, is from this line out to here, from this line out to here. So what I want you to kind of think about is this. So imagine you've got a flashlight. You can stick under the water and look to the left or to the right, but you can't look straight down. So you see right here, these are shadows that are cast by that sonar. Okay, that means that when that sonar is looking down there, it can't see through that, and it casts a shadow as far as what we're concerned. So that right here, we got laid down tree, we got some structure, we got all kinds of stuff. Now you see these little dots right here in the middle? That's actually really cool. That's actually a school of fish we see suspended in the water. So that's really easy to look at. It's really easy to see. So if you understand that part about it, you're in really good shape. But if you want to see the whole picture, let's go to where we can see the whole picture. Actually, that was a really good setup. Well, hopefully that demo comes back up and we can look at that for a second, because that gives a good idea of how that sonar is working. So if we want to do the entire picture, we're going to come here to a traditional sonar. So just remember this black space here in the center, okay? This black space here in the center that you see right here is that traditional sonar, okay? Right, so I know right off the bat I'm in 40 feet of water. Water temperature is... Sorry about that, guys. Alright, so I know right now we're in 41 feet of water. Water temp's right at 80 degrees. And my structure scanning is from 39 feet out to 120. So there you go. Not too bad. Now, we let the simulation pick up, and hopefully it'll show that down imaging scan again whenever that picks up. And that'll be a really good way to look at it. So now you have a complete picture of the bottom and what you're doing. So let's say we're looking at that side imaging again. And I want to mark where these trees are right here. I'm just going to press right there, and that is going to be a new waypoint. Boom. So now I can look at it on my traditional sonar and hit save. Go to my charts. And now, if we take a look at it, 002, that's exactly where it is. Notice it's behind the boat, because what you're seeing is behind you, not in front of you. But now I can go back to that point that I saved on my side imaging where I had those laydowns, where I saw that school of fish, and I can go back and I can get it. So that is a really great thing to do. It's a nice setup. Side imaging to me is one of my biggest tools I use. All right, now down imaging. Down scan, what it does is it cuts out even more clutter, and it tries its best to show you the structure in the best detail that it possibly can. So those laid down trees that we're going across, here they are, okay? So to get that entire picture, and there's that school of fish we talked about that we went over, okay? So these are nice things you can look at, ways you can put a whole picture of the bottom together for you. Me personally, I don't use downscan too much. I'm more used to reading traditional sonar. That's what I am used to. That being said, try both. There are advantages to each one. And so just kind of take a look at that. Be mindful of that. Next. Oh, you also have fish reveal options. These are the things you basically change, okay? As far as like having the sensitivity, cutting out the clutter to make sure these ellipses you see are in fact fish, not random things. So I do want to point that out. All right, information. Let's go to info. You can pull this up. You'll see your tides, your trip. That's how long you've been in the water today. That's really nice. How long you've been running it for. You can turn it on, turn it off, sun, moon, whatever you want to do. All right, so that demo is going to pick up here in about 6 seconds, and when it does, it's going to show us that down imaging. The side scanning, and that's going to be really helpful. So boom. So you see what's happening is it is shining out right here, and that's what you're seeing. That's how that cone of sonar is pushing outwards, okay? So that's what I want to show you right there. All right, coming back. Let's look at our traditional sonar real fast. One more again. And what I like about it is, I'm going to go to more options, chart options. categories. So one thing that I'm not super happy with on my chart is it doesn't give me like just basic information like what I would like to see as far as depth and all that. So if you want that, you really need to come here to this one. And that's going to give you everything you need: speed over ground, depth, and water temperature. So you have that sonar there and you have that chart there that gives you the complete image of everything that you want to see when you're just basically running the boat. So keep that in mind. If you want to be able to see your depth and your water temp, you need to run it from right here. If anybody's got a trick to help that pop up on an everyday setting, please let me know, because I would like to know it too. All right, next up, one of my cooler items I really like about this is the simplicity of this setup. Bam, you see this, my power button right here. If I press it once, and do not hold it down, just press it once, it brings up an instant system control. So no matter where I'm at in my unit, I can come here and I can see my settings, I can see the brightness, I can see the night mode, touchscreen. I can lock the touchscreen out, so if I'm in heavy chop, I can lock it out. I like that a lot. I can record my sonar. All that is really easy to do, and I can adjust the split. So if I want to see more chart and less sonar, I can do that. So that's really cool stuff. Now, if I press the sonar, this little power button again, it changes my lighting. So now it's really dark, bright, not quite as bright, a little bit easier to read, whole 9 yards. So if you're, let's say you were fishing at night the night before and you had your light setting and you forgot to turn it back up, just press it a couple times so you get your desired setup. Night mode, I love night mode. So if we're out there operating at night, I don't want to be fire blind. Boom. That's going to change a lot of what I'm doing. It's going to change my soundings. Now this map is actually going to be right here. It's going to be on an inverse setup later on. Like if you actually put it in night mode, I like that a lot. All right, we're going to go back. And so you notice everything's in red. Cuts down on fire blindness. Boom. All right, cool. And then again, this is just really, really simple stuff. Easy for you to go through. This is an extremely good unit. I like it quite a lot. And we're going to show you some of the little bit more hardware sides of this unit. So hang tight. Okay, so one thing I like about this unit is, let's say I'm going out of town. I'm going to fish a tournament or whatever. This is the back of the unit, by the way. And I want to take my unit off. Okay, so let's say I'm going to have to park it outside overnight, or maybe I keep it at a beach house or the lake house or whatever, and I want to take this unit off. It's really easy to do. I'm going to disconnect here. Make sure my unit's all the way off. Let's turn that off. All right, cool. We're going to power down. There. All right, all the way off. So let's take this thing off. So the only thing I have to do is I'm going to disconnect here. Easy. And I'm going to disconnect here. Easy. Bingo. Now, to take the entire unit off, I'm going to press here. I want y'all to notice. Look, I'm squeezing in. Boom. Pull that up. Give a little wiggle. Go easy with it. And boop, off it comes. Now, I am ready to be able to go out of town, do whatever I want to do. This really doesn't come with any sort of dust cover. This one does. So I like that about it. I wish there was a dust cover for this one, but doesn't seem to have been a big deal. I always keep my keep a little dielectric grease everywhere, dielectric grease. So easy to take on, easy to take off. Putting it back on is a breeze. We're just going to take it right here. We're going to clip in. Just go easy with it. You're going to hear it clip. There you go. Boom. And then again, we're just going to find our spot with it. And that's it. There is our power. And we'll take off our dust cover. And we're going to put our sonar on. Now, if you'll notice, we'll put this right here where you can see it. There's a little set right there, and that's what you need to look for. And on this one, it's on the bottom. So just make sure we turn it to where it's on the bottom. To make my life easier, there we go. Boom. That's it. Boom. Nice. So that's how we're going to do that. Now let's take a look at the transducer. All right, so this is a really big transducer, okay? So it's a really good size unit. I'm actually going to take the camera, put it to the side. This is a big transducer. You got a lot going on here, though, okay? So do kind of keep that in mind. You have 3 forms of sonar going in here. But let me say this, it does not affect the way the boat rides at all. It doesn't change the way it runs, doesn't change anything about it. One of my favorite parts about it, though, is just how beefy the transducer sets up. So a lot of units will, they kind of have some things I'm not super fond of. One of them is, let's say, your plate that holds your transducer on. I like how this runs the full length. And if you notice, it's already got your little strap things. So if you want to put this on like a trolling motor or whatever, you can zip it right on up. Also, one of the big problems I have with some units is that water will come up from here and shoot up in a rooster tail. If you notice the way this plate's set up, you don't have that happen. So you don't have water shooting up there, causing cavitation, making a mess as you're running. It's a super clean running unit. You can adjust it really easy just by adjusting this as far as your up and down. So let's say you, if you look at the installation video, Alex, I go into detail on how to set it up. So take a look at that. I hope you guys find that helpful. Transducer setup, I really like it. It's a big unit, it really is. But it's really well done. It's really beefy, and you don't have a lot of water spray shooting up. I can make a lot of really good adjustments really easy by where I mount everything to. Like I can bring it up to here if I so desire, or I can adjust it up and down. I really like this unit. I think, again, guys, if you're going to be in shallow water and you go to the back of that boat and you see this is all plastic, I'd be wary of that. And you can get a lot of aftermarket transducer mounts, but I like to have that good steel in the back. And if I do hit something, this will pop up, okay? It's just going to come right on up, which is nice. But again, super nice sonar, super nice transducer, really clean sounding. And even on a smaller boat like this, it's not a bad deal. So, big fan of this mounting bracket, big fan of the transducer. Okay guys, so we're back to the unit, and we're going to take it out of your demo mode. So now you're going to go to the water, you're going to go do your thing. We're going to come back to our widget here at the top, press it, come down here, simulator, and we're going to exit retail mode. Done. So we're now back to our everyday setup. It's going to say stopping demo. We know it's doing what we want it to. And back to everyday usage. So one other quick thing I do want to point out is how easy it is to load additional maps. So like for us, what we do is I like to do the regional mapping chip. So I use the southern region. It's going to have some small lakes and impoundments down here that you don't see on the ordinary everyday navionics unit. Give you an example. That's the other day on the Perdido. So you can see up and down. I've been on that river a couple times, how it left all those cookie crumb trails. So boom. So I always know where I'm at in that. I really like that a lot. Alright. I'm going to zoom out a little bit more. So this is a really cool little lake I like. This is Big Creek Lake. It's one of my favorite bass lakes. Down here in Lower Alabama, it is my favorite. And if I don't have the regional mapping chip, I don't have all my depth lines through here. So I don't have all that to enjoy. So getting in there, I can see these points, I can see the reliefs, I can see a lot. And really what you want to remember is, anytime you're looking at a unit like this and you're looking at these really nice maps, it helps you cut out unproductive water. So that being said, easy way to get to that is right here. Lift that, open that up, and right in here, I don't know if you guys can see that. I have to turn off the unit. Oh, powering off. Right there. So that right there is where you take your map chip in and out. So all I'm going to do is just push in right here. We're going to take the map chip out. Micro SD, little scan discard. I'm ready to put it back in. Good to go. Yes, this is a nice watertight, waterproof little container. Keeps your chips, your maps nice and safe. So push that in really good. Keeps it all nice and watertight. Okay guys, I guess what I want to end with is a lot of these units, no matter which one you pick, all of them are very similar. It's a highly competitive market, so it's all about finding the unit that works best for you, the one you like operating, the one you like using, the one that has the best tactile feel. I always suggest going into a place like West Marine or Bass Pro Shops, playing with them, messing with them. It's in demo mode, guys. You're not going to hurt anything. Check it out. See if you like the way it sets up. I like Lowrance a lot. I also like Garmin a whole lot. So my rule of thumb is, for me, if it's a smaller boat, I like Lowrance better. If I go to a big boat and I've got big systems, I've got all kinds of cool stuff, I want Garmin. Like if I'm going to be running radar and weather and autopilot, and I'm going to go with Garmin. That's just the way that is. That's my preference. On a smaller boat, I like Lowrance. That being said, Humminbird makes a good unit. The Simrad Go series is a really good unit. Simrad and Lowrance, both owned by the same company, so very similar setup. I'm a little bit more fond of the Lowrance unit than the Simrad. That's just my personal preference again. I don't think you go wrong with either one of them. No unit's a silver bullet. No unit's going to take the place of hitting the water, taking the time to see it, and taking the time to be out there and kind of explore what you're doing. And what you really want to do is just remember what sonar really does is it helps you to remove unproductive water from what you're looking at. So the old saying is 90% of the fish live in 10% of the water. So what you want to do is you want to find that 10%, and having a good sonar system that works well for you and a good mapping system that works well for you is going to help you find those fish better. So that's all I got to say about that. Find what works for you. Find what works best for you. Mess with them, play with them, fiddle with it till you find the right one for you. And there's no wrong answer to it. It's subjective, So just find what works best for you. So guys, we'll see you on the water. If you guys have any questions, just leave them in the comments down below. I do answer all these questions. I'm super happy to answer anything. And if I don't know the answer, I will get in touch with our reps and see what they suggest. So guys, we'll see you on the water.